But here in Brno, we're beginning warm-ups, so this is a great sign in terms of the game getting started. You can see in your screen there the clock start to tick down. And it's showing about 8.5 minutes until tip-off.
I mean, both teams had a full qualification process as well. Even though Czechia were going to qualify, they put all the hosts, the 4 hosts for this women's EuroBasket in one group. They went 2 and 4, and that was a very, very tough group. Even though the games were never meaningless, but they weren't going to decide who qualified. But playing Italy, playing Germany, playing Greece, it was a tough test. They won 2 of the 4 games, but it was great prep in many ways. And now we're getting into intros.
We're officially welcoming you to Brno. First time since 2017, EuroBasket returns here, Czechia hosting Montenegro. And we are seeing Montenegro making their way out onto the floor tonight. Of course, their best finish in EuroBasket was 6th in 2011. And they are the smallest nation to ever appear at a EuroBasket tournament. So, Mark, they'll be hoping to prove that they're small and mighty today.
Well, small and mighty, and in a period of transition, as we've mentioned. Deal with this, they're competitive. There's
Milica Jovanovic, the captain of the team, the spiritual leader in her last EuroBasket tournament. We want to salute with the progression to the finals in Greece. And we see Coach Elena Skerovic on screen. I mentioned she is dealing with a young group, but she does have that experience in Jovanovic as well to guide them through this tournament. Well, a great crowd packed into the house, and you can hear the noise in the arena to welcome their home team onto the floor, Czechia. Can they replicate the ultimate success they achieved exactly 2 decades ago? The great news, as we mentioned, in terms of World Cup qualification, they've already made it to the qualifying tournaments due to winning one of the pre-tournaments in March. But that won't stop them from wanting to go out and win it all here in EuroBasket, exactly 2 decades on from their ultimate success. Ranked 18th in the world, they're led by Teresa Viorlova, who's running out of the court right now. And what a great vibe this is, Mark. The home crowd waiting for their home team, the first game of Group C.
Well, it's always great when the hosts play. Everyone's bought in. They're the first team up. Fully expect them to have a great game here and kick this tournament, this group off in the right way. We can talk about it after the national anthems, but I love Czechia's crowd, so knowledgeable. They're going to give them 100% support here.
So we are going to stand for the national anthems of Montenegro and Czechia.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please remain standing for the national anthem of Czechia.
Great to see the two teams coming together after the national anthems to exchange gifts. Of course, something this will happen all tournament long. The two teams coming together in the middle of the court and exchanging gifts. And as we mentioned earlier on, the other game tonight sees Belgium take on Portugal, with games to follow tomorrow and on Sunday. Let's welcome tonight's referees. They are Gatis Salins from Latvia, Silvia Mazziali from Italy, and Gintaras Marchulis from Lithuania. Congratulations to all 32 referees from around the world who have been selected for this tournament. And we'll now get into the official team lineups, and we'll start with Montenegro. Of course, we mentioned they've won their past 2 EuroBasket games against Czechia, so they'll fancy their chances tonight against this home team. See their starting 5 on the screen: Kovacevic, Savalic, Radonic, Vucic, and Jovanovic. So a good mix of experience in there, along with Kovacevic, who's a really exciting prospect.
Well, and I think the key for them is they've got to control the glass. They've got to keep, they've got to take care of one shot, get out. But Lekovic, as we talked about while we were waiting for this game, at points of 8 and 3 with 2 rebounds, tell you part of the story. They don't tell you the whole story, because in big games, in qualifying, she came through 15 points in the last game that they had to win to make sure they got here. And with head coach Jelena Skerovic, who's just a EuroBasket record holder herself, they have the ideal mentor for that backcourt.
Switching our focus to Czechia now. They went 2-3 from their practice games, but they have the firepower to really go deep in this tournament, Mark. And it'll be interesting to see what they go with in terms of their starting 5, because there's so many options they can get started with in this game. So you can see it on your screen now. Stupalova, Vorachkova, Hamzova, Vioralova, the captain, and Raisingarova. She's really exciting and set to be a real barometer for this team tonight.
Well, the inside doesn't worry me at all about Czechia. They've got strength, depth, experience. They're very good around the ring. No one better than Julia Raisingarova. She, as you see those numbers, 62%. Was her numbers when it came to the qualifiers, etc. I mean, over her career, and it's a long career, over her career, she's almost averaging a double-double. She's like just 9.2 rebounds, 14 points. With her longevity to get to those numbers, that's phenomenal. But for me, it's does the backcourt offer enough potent threat on the dribble? If they do, they have chance. If they get contained by Montenegro, they may struggle with a score, and that's the problem they've had in certain games. They can't break the defense down to create the open shot.
So under a minute to go until tip-off. We appreciate your patience as we navigated these technical issues. It's great to see the crowd has stuck around and continuing to make the noise as their coaches give the final messages in their huddles. So Coach Skerovic for Montenegro and Coach Romana Potajkova for Czechia. As we see Czechia begin running out onto the floor. You see Emma Chekova about to come off the bench as well. She's going to be a really key focus for them. Had a really good qualifying tournament. Montenegro, their starters, getting ready. We mentioned before we tipped off, Mark, the first 5 minutes is going to be so important here. Of course, we had a pretty long delay in the arena, and both teams have handled it pretty differently. So it'll be really interesting to see how these first few minutes pan out.
I think so. They're taking care of the basketball, being on the same page, looking to execute what coach wants you to run. The only surprise, I suppose, if I'm surprised in any way about the starting lineups, is Olinska doesn't start for Czechia, and I really think that the 28-year-old is really in the prime of her basketball life, and she had a great college career, and she's come back into Europe, really had a successful pro campaign and on a number of teams, so she's going to be so important coming off the bench.
Welcome to Czechia. It's the 18th ranked Czechia hosting the 19th ranked Montenegro. So we're set for a classic to tip things off here in Group C of EuroBasket Women's for 2025. And straight away, Hamzova with the move. Gets swatted away. Great to see the crowd making heaps of noise as Montenegro trying to find a way through the offense. Their 8th consecutive Women's EuroBasket appearance, so congratulations to them. They'll be hoping to experience success. Of course, their best finish was 6th in 2011, and they've come with a big mix of youth of experience Coach Skerovic to deal with. Zivalic now pulls up from the elbow and gets the scoring up and going here in Czechia.
Well, it's not about Salevic on the dribble. Sometimes you know, that's not her game, but those one dribble pull-up, she can stroke the basketball. Great little start for her.
Oh, Voracekova, we know the skill she has, and she puts it on full display to start this game.
Well, that's a great sign. Both times down the floor, the Czechia have broken down the defense. Really, that's a great sign for them. That was the worry before the game. Really happy for them the way they've started the game.
Zivalic again, she's making all the moves here for Montenegro so far. Radonic able to keep it in. Trying to step around Viola, that's great defense from the Czechia captain. Expect nothing less. See here, a great shot to open the game from Zivalic, and then on the opposite end, Veronika Voracekova. Brilliant. Comes over to Stupalova. Rysingarova, we highlighted her at the start of the game, and she's displayed great reach there. Just can't quite finish off the shot. Great physicality there by the Czechs. Voracekova scored the first basket for her team tonight. The crowd getting involved here. Stupalova for three, just falls short. Montenegro can get off and running once again through Zivalic. She's been really busy to start off this game. Can she go all the way? Beautiful dish to Kovacevic.
Well, that's super movement off the ball. Great read and good push by Montenegro. Both teams are being more aggressive than I thought they'd be. And like this, straight to the ring and one.
Beautiful from Voracekova. She's pumped up too. Coming off an excellent qualifying tournament, 9.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds and 5 assists too. So she really stuffed the stat sheet, got herself involved, got her teammates involved, and tonight she is the star of the show so far.
Well, again, we talked about that. Can they break the defense down? Can they get to the middle? That's every time she's touched it, she's challenged the defense. They've got to find a way to keep her off the middle.
Out from the end one. Score still level here in Brno. First time this venue has hosted a EuroBasket Women since 2017. Radonic. Kovacevic again in the right spot and gets it to go. So Czechia happy to get it through sets of hands. Rysingarova. Voracekova. Still Voracekova. They kick it out, Hamzova in the corner. Just rattles out. Montenegro through Vucetic can get going once again. Jovanovic, you know, last EuroBasket tournament just loses the handle. It allows Hamzova to go for a run, stepping through. Rysingarova there for the finish.
Wow, it's great work by Rysingarova. Ran the floor, got down the floor, picks up and cleans up the rubbish on the glass and then makes the two. Just gets rewarded for the hard work. Love the tempo of the game at the beginning here. Both teams looking to push.
Zivalic up against Voracekova. It was good defense. Hamzova. Oh, it's cut away there by Kovacevic. She's had a hot start to this game. Oh, denied by Stupalova. Great response from the Czech team.
That's a great... Anyone watching this game who's a younger player now, don't get disappointed with the moment where you make the mistake. Get back in the play and do this. Didn't hesitate. I've lost it, I've turned it over, I've got to work hard to recover the situation, and that's just a great effort to get back and break it up. Stopped a certain two. But again, both teams really being aggressive, both ends of the floor.
Great drive by Radonic, just couldn't get the finish. We can see some subs here for Czechia as well. Zaitamarova on the floor for the first time, so too Chekova, they share it at the top. Borachkova now, she's not going to come off anytime soon. She's had a great start to the game. Chekova takes the contact and heads to the free throw line.
Right, it's great recognition. They see the switch, they get the mismatch underneath. They didn't have to do anything great, just execute. Throw it inside and let the big do the work, and she did more than do the work. Drew the foul, will go to the free throw line and gets rewarded as long as she makes the free throws. Chekova, just a bit longer, a little bit more mobile than Rysingarova, so she gives them a little bit more of mobility and dynamic options around the ring.
That was Vucetic's second foul, so she's had to come and have a seat, but it does bring on Maria Lekovic, a player that we highlighted at the start of the game for Montenegro. She signed with Spanish club Valencia Basket Club, so a great recognition for her efforts.
I'll go as far as saying if Lekovic plays and has a good game here, Montenegro have a real chance, because she could be at the beginning of a massive career. If she delivers on what the potential she's shown, this will be interesting.
Radonic for three, nails it! First three of the game goes to Sorana Radonic and Montenegro. They take a 1-point lead. Let's see how Czechia responds. Certainly have got the height advantage, you'd say, on the court at the moment. Zaitamarova fancies her chances. The smallest player in the tournament gets it to Chekova. Beautiful work.
Oh, there's that quickness from Chekova. Super pass to lead it to the basket as well.
The guard and bigs connection is going to be so important for Czechia. Oh, great dish. Lekovic just couldn't quite finish on the reverse. Zaitamarova using her pace. This time finds Rysingarova. Double teamed. Oh, finds a way through.
That's how to use your feet. Tremendous move. Got the ball deep. Excellent execution. Just look what she is. Just a quality center.
I'll tell you what, the tempo of this game has been manic so far. It's the first time really we've had the referees involved in general play. The first couple of fouls in this game have been on the shooter. It allows Rysingarova to take a rest.
Czechia are going to go to the bench a lot. Only one player played more than 30 minutes in the qualifying rounds and that. So that extra bodies is going to be a factor.
Oh, Zaitamarova, smallest player on the court, gets the rebound. Borachkova, she's had a super hot start to this game. Holoshinska, great to see her on the floor. Dishes it to Borachkova, beautiful pass. Beautiful finish.
Well, the great thing for Czechia is that the players that have to come to play have come to play, and they get the steal here.
And Jovanovic, probably a smart foul in the end. They were off and running. So 14-9 here. Montenegro, that's their fourth turnover. And there'll be timeout on the floor. 4 minutes left in this first period. Coach Skerovic wanted to have a chat to her troops. We're going to come into the huddle and see what she has to say.
Well, a fair amount of urgency in the timeout, and understandable given that there's been that little run that Czechia have got, and most of that run has been down to just their ability to break the defense down, whether it be on the dribble or going inside and doing it on pass penetration. They've been so good at breaking down Montenegro in the beginning of the game. They've got so much reward, and they've got high percentage shots around the ring. Montenegro are going to do a better job at containing the ball.
So a 6-0 run for Czechia. Can they keep it up? Borachkova, she's got 6 points of her own. Holoshinska. One way, then the other. Excellent footwork. Petra Holoshinska heads to the line for two. Brilliant footwork.
Wow. shook a move, shook another move, and then attacked the basket. She's just one of those players that's worth to pay the admission to watch. She's always challenging the defense. The crossover was great. She'll be disappointed she's not shooting the M1 here.
Interestingly, a free agent without a team at the moment, so she'll be putting her case forward, as will Rice-Singer-Over as well. So a couple of free agents there for Czechia.
Olinska signed for a 2-year deal, and it looks like she might be trying to get out of that or whatever, but had a good season in Spain. I mean, she's a talent. I mean, she's in the prime of her career.
We see Ivana Pasic on for the first time tonight for Montenegro, so now is when they're starting to turn to their experience. Maja Bigovic also on the floor. Really exciting young prospect she is. Zivalic just pulls up. Probably not the right shot to take in that moment. Holoshinska off again though. Vorachkova. Back to Holoshinska. Gets confronted. Pospishilova. Vorachkova goes herself. Chekova, great rebound. Czechia still with it. Zaitamanova with the hustle. Holoshinska wants to go again. Got fouled on the way through. I think they're going to count it. They might have a chat about it. Let's check it out on the replay. A bit too fast in that one.
Yeah, we're not quick enough to get that one. The whistle had already gone by the time then. It's whether or not she picked it up. But I don't think they're counting it.
Holoshinska obviously pleading her case.
She definitely wants it.
She's been unlucky both times she's driven. She's one of the N1 both times, I reckon.
Yeah, Montenegro narrowing the penalty as well, and it just underlines the problems they have containing the basketball. Because we were coming into this thinking that Czechia would penetrate and kick, look for the open three. They've just been taking it to the rack. They've been going inside, and you've got to stop them actually breaking the defense down and force them to make plays. At the moment, they're getting the shots they want.
Interestingly, Montenegro in the bonus, and they've brought on Vucetic, who has 2 fouls to her name. So this last 3 minutes they sense is a bit of an opportunity for them. They don't want it to get out too far too quickly.
I'm a big believer in what you're saving it for. If you've gone down 7, if you don't have the trust in the other players, you're going to have to go back to her. And you've got to trust the fact that she's an experienced player and that she'll be able to look after herself out there on the floor.
Here she is, Vucetic. Finds Pasic on the drive. That's a better move. Just couldn't quite get the finish.
Well, you can't run the play any better.
Yeah.
Great little curl off the screen. Great pass, just blew the layup.
Holoshinska's feeling hot at the moment. Again, she gets fouled, so she's really copped the full physicality of this Montenegro lineup.
So you don't mind, Bigovic really was intending to do the right thing. She was going to show hard, try and stop her turning the corner. It was just a step late, and therefore the contact sends her to the line, but she is a handful. Holoshinska is just quick. And if you're not right on the defensive rule, she's gonna do this, draw contact and get to the free throw line. And I was asking why she didn't start. Well, you don't need to start her if she's gonna come off the bench with this impact. It's huge the way that she has changed the tempo just since she's entered the floor, just struggling from the line.
Yeah, 3rd straight time at the free throw line for Petra Holoshinska.
She's 70+% from the free throw line. I mean, she's a good free throw shooter. Normal service regime.
So 18 plays 9, just over 2.5 minutes left in this first period. It's been dominant from Czechia on their home floor to open Group C. Of course, later on tonight, Belgium up against Portugal. Vucetic pulls up. And again, Czechia off and running, and guess who? Petra Holoshinska. Gets it to Chekova, uses her height, and she'll go to the line as well. They just can't contain them on the drive.
And they never make the ball stop. If the ball doesn't stop, you're going to find yourself chasing, not really able to contain the dribble, and Czechia did a good job at keeping the ball moving. The other thing that's really clear, like Coach Skerovic, my Montenegrin is not perfect, obviously, but she was really emphasizing the pick and pop. It's really fundamental to the way she gets effective offense. But Czechia's defense against the pick and pop, exceptional rotation to deny the person popping. And that takes away the first option that Montenegro are looking for. And it really does establish the control that Czechia have got and has meant Montenegro having stuck on 9 now for pretty much 4.5, 5 minutes of play.
It doesn't get any easier when you sub off Chekova and Rysingarova comes on. I mean, they both had an excellent start to this game. Chekova with the 5 points.
She's been exceptional, Chekova. She was the person who set the tone, put the ball on the floor, breaking the defense down. That's a great start by her.
You want to see Elena Hanushova on the floor for the first time tonight. Zivalic, she was the one who kicked off the scoring here for Montenegro. Radonic hit the first 3. Pasic. Good hands there from Hanushova.
Well, Hanushova didn't play in the qualifiers. I mean, one of the most experienced players. She's been parts of many, many, many Czech teams. And having her experience on this roster is a real help at 34 now. She's played with some of the great Czechia teams.
2012 Olympian in her own right, and she's in the action once again. It allows Hamsova to continue this scoring onslaught for Czechia in front of their home fans who are loud. They're up and about. They just take a moment to relax for the time being.
That was better by Montenegro, though. They contained the penetration, forced it to the outside, and didn't allow the middle. But that's what they've got to do every single possession. They've got to turn that as to the first one, not the only time that they play that way defensively.
Zivalic. Kovacevic. This time she cops a bit of contact.
Well, that's that defense I was just talking about. Hanzova was just late. And because she was late, she gets the contact. She was a step off coming up with a steal, but that's the margin. But the rotation away from the basketball is really good to watch.
So Radonic, her team down by 10. Kovacevic, a good step, a good dish. But Czechia will get it back.
See, and that's, there you go. Rysingarova just apologized to coach because she knew she was late at 4 on the closeout. And they really dodged the bullet there. Montenegro are just struggling to get anything they want offensively.
Pospisilova, can she get involved in the action? Good rebound, Kovacevic. Radonic off and running. Ivanovic and now Zivalic. Pulls up. That's the shot she took at the start of the game, and she gets the scoring back up and running for Montenegro. That was a long time without a score.
That's an automatic for her, isn't it? She loves that little one dribble. That's an offensive foul.
Yeah. Good work there by Pasic. Stood her ground, took the hit.
Sililova just had to wait, just didn't have to rush. If she'd have waited, the screen would have been set. There wouldn't have been the offensive foul. You just got to keep making sure. Just keep making sure you stay in that place where you execute. Worry about the little things. Don't give up the offensive foul like that. Great move.
Radonic getting involved in the action. Fyodorova gets it back from Rysingarova, and she gets involved, the Czechia captain. It's all raining buckets here for the home team.
Rysingarova just timing on the pick, just created such a huge space for her to get into that hole, pop the perimeter shot.
Valic pulls up. The 3 just falls short. Fyodorova, 2 seconds to shoot. And 1! What a great couple of seconds by the Czechia captain.
Well, one, to recognize that there was that little time on the clock, and then to make it and go to the line, it's massive, massive for Czechia, and underlines the dominance they've had in this first period.
Excellent start by the home team to tip off Group C here in Brno. They Get out to an 11-point lead now. Jovanovic with the big heave. Bulajic for the first minutes on the floor. That would have been a good finish, but it is all Czechia here in Brno. The crowd are loving what they're seeing. At the end of the first quarter, it is Czechia 24, leading Montenegro 13. Before we sum up the rest of the first quarter, we must say, due to the delay of this game here tonight, Belgium and Portugal will start at 9 o'clock local time. So that's 9 o'clock local time here in Brno. So make sure you stick around for that one. But for now, Mark, the tail of the stats says it's all Czechia right now.
Well, the tail of the stats is like, regardless of the 62% from two, is the fact that Czechia have only taken 3 threes. You know, they came into their, that's not the way they normally have, are forced to play their basketball. Going to get a look at these best plays, and there's a nice start. We saw the single dribble pull up, and you know they got the shots, but this move summed up the beginning of the game. Tremendous, absolutely tremendous start for Vorskova. Got to the ring. All those concerns we talked about before the game about will they be able to break down the Montenegrin defense? She answered those in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and that set the tone. They got high percentage shot after high percentage shot. And Montenegro just could not contain the penetration. And there were the moments like that for Montenegro, just too and far between. Didn't get advantage, didn't get the opportunity to run, and very few open looks. So it's a great start at both ends of the floor by Czechia. And we said which team would be more focused, which team would come in and execute. Well, Czechia there, almost relaxed, sort of look after yourself, and seemed to have worked for them. They've got pick and roll action, pick and pop action. And this guy has been absolutely tremendous off the bench. The way she has aggressively taken the ball to the ring has been a key part of that first quarter performance.
Well, you can scan the QR code on your screen to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. So make sure you get on and download the app. As we mentioned, Belgium and Portugal after this. That will start at 9 o'clock local time. Great to see the drums in the crowd getting up and about. It's been a hot start for this Czech team. It's all on Montenegro now to respond.
Don't need to worry though, it's a long game. First period, you said they were a little undercooked coming in. Take some time with the ball, get the shots you want. Take a little passion out the game.
Bulajic, the youngster, what a good move to start. It's great intent. Too bad it just wasn't quite finished off. Comes over. Oh, that's good by Radonic. Vorachkova there to mop up. Stupalova, we saw her with a big block in the first turn. Ricing it over. Oh, great spin move through the cycle.
Well, on the tin it says she's a great center. At the defensive end she gets the block, and at the offensive end she makes a great drop step to the baseline. Both ends of the floor, she's what just shows you what she is, just a quality big player.
Good experience move by Jovanovic. The shots just start falling for them at the moment. They are having some good looks at the basket.
Well, they're getting a lot of action out of that pick and pop, penetrating out of the pop. They've just got to finish plays.
Ricing her over. Balance dribble over there.
Wow, it's just great recognition again. They got the switch, got position in the post. It's either foul her or let her make the move. Watch this though. There's the drop step off the glass. There's a coaching manual that says this is the example of how to make that move. Someone's going to be a very, very fortunate team to pick her up for next season.
6 points so far in the game for Julia Ricing-Arova, and Hamsova now does go through a few sets of hands, but it'll be a Montenegro ball.
It's the effort, the commitment to this Czech team. They're playing really well, but their work rate on the glass, exceptional. I really like as a group, they're really functioning well. This is a really positive first part of the game for them. Nothing to worry about Montenegro though. If they keep getting the good looks, get this to single digits and they'll be in great shape.
The good thing for them is they've converted some of their threes. Czechia yet to hit one. They've clearly gone for that strategy again just before in that play, although Radonic on the reverse. Couldn't quite get it to go. But Kovacevic, I've liked the look of her earlier on. She wanted the foul call too.
You know, when things aren't going your way, you've got to find ways to make things happen. Outwork your opponent is one of them. That was just a tremendous effort. And look at the effort that this Montenegrin team is now putting on the floor.
It all starts with the defensive end. I'm sure as a coach you say it time and time again, and this is exactly what Coach Skerovic would have wanted from her team.
Well, in that quarter break, she would have said some things that would have at least, let's say, said some home truths to her players, and they've come out and responded so well. Their physicality at the start of this second period has been very, very good.
It comes over a bit worse for Ware as she heads to the bench, and that's why we'll see Angelova for the first time tonight. Again, the defensive end. This is good from Montenegro.
All they've got to do now is convert that effort into points.
Oh, Jovanovic, the captain of Montenegro. Late tried hard there for the rebound. Ricingarova, Vioralova, Murachkova. Jovanovic commits the foul.
Ricingarova again does such a good job. She doesn't just like, I'm going to roll and receive it. She gets deep right at the charge circle before she seals. And it puts Jovanovic in a really disadvantaged situation. Does she try and reach? Does she allow her to catch it? That's a second foul though. They cannot afford Jovanovic to be out of the game for too long.
Radonic, she's putting her body on the line tonight. I'll tell you that much. Bigovic, back to Radonic. One way, then the other. This time Montenegro can go to the free throw line. We haven't seen that too much.
But again, they do a really nice job at using the pick and roll, not necessarily to get the automatic shot, but give enough advantage for the player to get the defense at a disadvantage, make the right move, draw the contact, go to the free throw line. And there was a little bit more tempo, and they looked much, much more comfortable as a group, especially at the start of this second period. The tempo's a little quicker, but the execution around that pick and pop is just that much better. They've just got to hang around for long enough to be in the game in that fourth quarter and give themselves a chance to win. This free throw makes it a single-digit game. That's always a psychological plus.
Radonic nails the second one as well. Probably be Montenegro's most impressive player so far. Ilova looking to push the pace. Poloshinska with the hot start. Gets her own ball back. What an injection of energy she provided off the bench in the first period. She has her opportunity again in the second period now. Good dish, good finish. Murachkova and Ricingarova team up.
Did a great job, just empty that side. It's hard to help. They execute the pick and roll really well, and Montenegro did not adjust, not rotate. Nice option.
Radonic finds Belic, one of the youngsters of the team. Gets confronted there by Ricingarova. Plenty of physicality in this game.
Well, you mentioned, like players who are making that contribution, and Bigovic, all she's doing at the moment is setting screen after screen after screen, setting it well, rolling hard, and now she's got another plus. That's another foul on Ricingarova. All those things will add up. She really has done a nice job.
The little 1% you don't often see go a long way. Kovacevic.
Kovacevic has got to drop the three. She's got an open look because of the work on the screen. Got to make those open looks.
Poloshinska now. Hits the deck. Oh, beautiful dish to Murachkova from Emma Chekova. Instant impact off the bench from Emma Chekova, and Murachkova just keeps scoring. Montenegro at the free throw line once again.
It's one of those fine margin plays, wasn't it? Like Montenegro almost get the steal, hard shell on the screen, but Czechia does a nice job at controlling the basketball, making the nice pass. I do like the way Montenegro have started this second quarter, though. They're still 13 down, or make that 12 down, but they're getting better shots. They're starting to establish a little bit of defensive pressure, and they just need to be relentless with that and tick away and win the second quarter. Get some positives going into the halftime break.
The good thing for them now that Maria Lekovic now on the score sheet, so one of the players we highlighted at the start of the game, and what a move that is from Volachkova. Part of the C's got the basket. What a start to the game.
She's been exceptional.
Speechless, really. That was awesome. Kovacevic this time. Can't convert again.
Well, Czechia again doesn't get the credit she deserves in many ways, but she was so quick on the closeout. Both ends of the floor. Player of the game so far for me. She's been exceptional.
Here she is on the offensive end, Emma Czechia. And again, have a timeout on the floor from Coach Skerovic. She needs to talk a few things over because this ball movement from Czechia has been divine. Pospisilova with the dish, and then Emma Czechia on the reverse, happy to finish that one off.
Well, just to emphasize the point again, they gave up the middle, which gave them all the rotation issues, and they just do a good job, Czechia. But the disappointing thing for Coach Skerovic, let's listen to her now and talk about it a little after. The worry for Montenegro is they play better. They really have been better defensively. They've been more aggressive. They've got some turnovers. They've had some open looks, but they haven't made those, and now the lead is starting to increase again. So they've had the positive part of their start to the second. They just haven't turned that positive start, the improved performance, into points because they've missed those open looks. The great thing for Czechia is that we talked about in the first quarter, their bench strength, 11 points off the bench compared to 2 on that stat that you saw during the timeout. They're relentless in their effort. They're getting minutes deep into that roster, which is going to please Coach Patkova so much. Tournament play, benches are crucial. She's getting great return out of her bench at the moment.
I think Emma Czechia didn't even start the game, and
yep.
Now she's one of the leading scorers. Kovacevic kicks it out, Bulajic for 3. Volachkova.
Great execution, drew the help, took double team the big, threw it out to the open look. Can't make the open shot.
Olashinska one way to the other. Pospisilova for the first 3 of the Czechia game. Oh, great passing once again, and Czechia right spot, right time. Back-to-back baskets for Emma Czechia. Lekovic now for Montenegro. The lead starting to blow out here, 36-19. Maria Lekovic goes for the long triple. Again, great defense from Czechia.
Was superb, absolutely tremendous defense.
Gave her no option but to shoot that long 3. Pass was a bit wayward there from Angelova. We'll see now, subs being made for both teams. So Montenegro have decided to put their captain back on the floor, Jovanovic. Saitamanova back out there. Hanushova for Czechia too. And we're getting our first look at Balsic, Montenegro, the number 10. One of their youngsters who played in the under-20 EuroBasket last year, now in the seniors. Can't quite own the moment just yet. And Czechia, guess who? Getting the active hands in. Couple of passes there in a row, a bit too hot to handle.
But the way things are, they're just not, Montenegro just not making shots they've got to make. And it's a really obvious thing for us to say they've got to shoot better, right? But they're getting good looks. They're creating advantage. And they're just, now sooner or later, guys, that's an inbound turned it over. And I suppose you could say, you know, we said, is the 2 games enough? Well, 2 games, they're definitely undercooked coming in here. And Czechia, is because of their relentless defense as much as anything else, is really making them pay. The turnover there is just unforgivable.
Rysingarova heads to the line. And you mentioned the practice game debate. You know, a team like Belgium, I think they played 7 practice games. Yeah. You know, and that's the team that won it last time around. So, I don't know. It's not, of course, it's not the cause of all issues, but it's something to definitely take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's too many, not enough. Whatever the right number is, depends on the group. But when you've got a group of young players coming in, and you're making some big decisions to bring the young players in, you've got to try to find some opportunities for them to play more than 2 games. But there could be all sorts of reasons why the 2 games. You know, most teams have played 3 or 4. Some teams have got up to 6 or 7. What's going on now, though, is that Czechia is just putting a defensive performance on the floor that's making every single offense for this Montenegrin team hard work.
Ivanovic for 3. Still staying out there despite the 3 fouls to her name. Balsic just having a few moments on the court.
She did a great job. She comes up with the offensive rebound, and in the same way that they're struggling to get back at times, Montenegro, people stood and looked. She had no pass option. Ivanovic was the only player to look to move to become a receiver. And I'll keep making the point. This rotation with Coach Pakova, she's doing a great job at keeping her team really, really focused and really, really relentless with their effort.
That's a nice look there for Lekovic. And she commits the foul. It's been hard work. I mean, every basket they really have to earn, Montenegro. That was a gimme, which I'm sure they'd appreciate because of how hard Czechia have made it for them to score. I mean, going at 27% from the field at the moment, Montenegro.
Yep.
Czechia 52%, so it's a huge differential at the moment.
Yeah, you don't win basketball games at any level on 22% from the floor.
So 38 plays 21. 2.5 minutes left in this opening half. Of course, we had a delayed start to the tip-off here tonight. And due to that delay, the next game between Belgium and Portugal will start at 9 p.m. local time. Hopefully you're sticking around for that one. The champions of the last tournament up against the debutants of this tournament.
There's a story.
Absolutely. Billed as the game of the day on the EuroBasket website, which is awesome to see.
Well, Montenegro are going to go to the zone. I mean, it was a case of when, not if. It's easy to sit here and say they could have looked at it earlier, but the last 2 minutes here, they're in the penalty. They've got to try and stop Czechia getting to the free throw line. They could just win the last 2 minutes, get it down to 13, 14 points. That's a positive going into the locker room. If the zone detects the foul count, then let's see what happens, because we don't know if Czechia are knocking down threes. They've got to, it's all very well going to the zone, but you've got to force them to shoot the outside shot.
I think we're just having a bit of a look at the clock here in the stadium, just getting things sorted out. But the home crowd, they have been bringing the vibes all night, even throughout the delay. I mean, it was nearly an hour of delay. They sat in their seats, they continue to make the noise, and they're doing so here. And you mentioned before we tipped off, you know, that there's either a pressure cooker in terms of a home crowd, or it can be, you know, something that spurs you on. And tonight, they've been spurred on by this crew here.
Yep. They're feeding off the energy, definitely, absolutely.
I think we're all good to go once again. 38 plays 21. Rysingarova, guess who?
That's such great execution against the zone. Threw it into the high post. The defense wasn't able to adjust. Super high-low action.
28 points in the paint for Czechia. Their height is causing some real issues to this Montenegro team. And of course, just being in the right spot, reading each other, all those good things as well. But there is a differential, that's for sure. Hanashova looking for some friends to go with her. Comes over. Pospisilova, that was hard. Both players hit the deck. So a foul on Zavalic.
Replay's a little late to see the foul. There was a lot of contact, obviously. But there's a happy coach. You know, when they must have talked about the defense will be the way they've got to establish the way they're playing. What she's really must be really happy with is the way they've been aggressive, the way they have moved the basketball, and have broken down this defense to get to the ring and also to get open looks off that penetration. They've done an excellent job. And the zone didn't phase them. They threw it into the high post. And Rising-Garova just held a spot. Super pass, high-low action. Looks really easy. Looks like a 20-point game. It is a 20-point game.
A 12-0 run now for Czechia. And Montenegro now have 2 players with 3 fouls. So Zavalic joins Jovanovic in that foul trouble. 2 of their more experienced players. So it is going to be on the young ones to try and get this margin back on their terms. I mean, they kept with them right at the start of the game. It's real back and forth tempo basketball, but they've just lost their way a little bit, Montenegro. So just over a minute left in the opening half. 41 plays 21. Jovanovic trying to get something going.
It's another miss, isn't it? Yeah, great job by Jovanovic. Maybe she could have gone up herself.
Holashinska for 3, drains the first triple of the game from Czechia. Amazing it's taken so long with the scoring run they've been on.
They just haven't needed her, have they? Now that she's just looked exceptional.
They get it back here, Czechia. Holashinska up to 7 points. Rising-Garova back to Holashinska. Does she go once again? Rising-Garova immediately double teamed. She's been so hard to contain throughout this whole game.
You get a replay of this. Watch the way she rips it through and was looking to go up. Had to be fouled. If you're going to come and double team, you've really got to take all the space away for her to go past you. But you get the replay of Holashinska's 3, and there's been so many good performances in this first half by Czechia, but off the bench, the energy and the production she has given this national team has been exceptional.
I don't envy the people picking the player of the game so far because there are so many contenders on the floor right now. You can see Rising-Garova super efficient with her points, 13 points in 14 minutes at the free throw line once again. I've jinxed her, I'm sorry, but she'll continue to keep scoring, I'm sure. Well, Parachkova had that hot start to the game, Chekova, and it's all been because Coach Patachkova has rolled through her bench. And as you mentioned how important that is in tournament play. It'll be key for them going through. Oh, Jovanovic, that's a much needed basket and the N1.
And this is the one thing, more than any other, that Montenegro has to get out of this first half positively, is that they've got lots of advantage out that pick and pop. Especially when the popper has actually put the ball on the floor. They really have. They just haven't converted a number of relatively easy looks. But they've found a way to hurt Czechia. They've just got to get enough stops, got to finish plays, and still work their way back into the game. It's a long old climb back.
So Czechia couldn't quite get the finish, but they've had a dominant first half in front of their home fans here in Brno. Their first EuroBasket tournament since 2017 here in this stadium, and it's halftime. Czechia 45, leading Montenegro 23. We've seen some brilliant basketball in this first half, Mark, and the stats tell you it's been so dominant from this Czechia team.
Oh, the tone, let's just call it the tone, the way that they came out, the way that they played defense, the way that they kept the tempo at the offensive end high. Rebound numbers 27-13. Now, 27-13 is really, you've got to underline the fact of how many shots Montenegro have missed. So defensive rebounding, as long as you box out, you're going to get numbers. I mean, there's the key players that were highlighted before. Lekovic didn't start, has done a nice job, but look at the numbers here. 5 from 6 from the floor for Rising Garova. 13 points, 3 rebounds. It's not just those, it's a rate of work. She's had a block in there. She's run the floor. She's just been a huge factor and presence. Just a tremendous performance by the center for Czechia. Just before as we go through these, let's not forget, you can't qualify on day one of your EuroBasket. What you can do is dig yourself a really big hole. If you have a loss, you've got to make that loss as small as possible. And if Montenegro are going to get better over this tournament, they need to work really hard to close this margin. The game's not dead, obviously. But if they lose, they've got to lose small, because losing big can literally rule you out of any hope of qualifying, because the points difference will always work against you. And they need more plays, more effort plays, where they outwork Czechia. The pick and pop's been really effective for them, can't finish, but Czechia, it doesn't matter who we're talking about here, whether it's Vorečkova, who set the tone right from the get-go in terms of breaking the defense down, Rising Garova around the ring, or Chetskova in the way that she's done her work. Every single one of those Czechia players has done an excellent job at executing the game plan, finishing plays, and Olesinska, a story off the bench for me. Her impact, phenomenal. So they're in a great place. This is a super start for Czechia in front of the home fans.
It's been an excellent start for this crew. 2 players in double figures, Rysingarova and Vorečkova. She had a hot start to the game. And Vorečkova close by with the 9 points as well, 6 rebounds to boot. But for now, we're going to take a breath. We're going to take a short break, but do not go anywhere. Plenty more action coming up on the other side of this break. It is Czechia leading by 22.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Black with a little whip around past the Shepherd. And the tempo of the game is starting to grow again.
And another jump shot, this time rattling it in. Salon. See how they are coming out of the timeout. Schwartz couldn't quite get hold of it. Boscana open. Got it! A three-pointer. And Greece have gone from a very nervous moment in this game to leading by 7. Pointer! Her second big three-pointer in the last few minutes. Oh, nice spin and block from behind. Great work from Switzerland. Beautiful pass. What a finish.
What a defensive effort, a 5-player defensive effort, and then getting out and running, unselfish basketball.
Laboskiena inside, good defensive stand. Where's the ball? It's back in the hands of the Lithuanians. Oh, my goodness me! What a time to hit a 3! Sinishkaita! 2. You go back to work, though, rejected. Sita read it well. Goes coast to coast, off the glass. You stay on Sita.
What a shot. You don't see the younger generation using the backboard that much anymore.
Zandalasini wants to go coast to coast. Spin move! Czechia Zandalasini.
Almost a layup off that. And look at that. Checker gets fouled, puts it up and in. And her veteran leadership is really coming to the fore. Look at that. Bernice did a great job recovering, but then just because of the reach
at the end, yeah.
Whether she got her or not, oftentimes you see the reach just leads to the foul.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own countries, but also in the international basketball world.
Welcome back to Czechia, where it is Czechia leading Montenegro by 22 points heading into the second half. Montenegro's top scorer has been Zorana Radonic, 7 points, 2 from 2 from the free throw line, 2 from 8 from the field goal range, 25%. So she has been trying her heart out, but as we mentioned before we went to the break, Mark, the easy shots just haven't been dropping for this team.
I think that the key thing for them is they've got to stay with what they're doing to get the open looks and back themselves. We're talking about players here who have great pro careers, have been the veterans on this team have played on some great teams in Women's EuroLeague or Europe Cup Women. They've just got to stay, and I really do, what I do like a lot is that the youngster, Mari Lekovic, looks like she can play at this level, looks like that she could become the future for Montenegro. So Skerovic will stay with her. She's going to keep pushing her. Zorana Radonic, there you go, 7 points, 2 from 8 from the floor. She's been as guilty as everybody of missing shots that she would expect to make. And you can see that frustration. Coach Skerovic has got to look at, get this game under control, close the margin to a point where you can actually work with it, and then you've got a chance. At the moment, 22 down is just too big a margin. You can't talk about anything else apart from one possession at a time. But Ryzingarova, for me, we talked a lot about the fact, you know, is she going to have the foot speed and is she going to be able to run the floor? Well, she's definitely run the floor. She's been strong. She's finished plays around the ring. Defensively, she's come up with blocks. Love the way she's played. Everybody likes to build their teams from the inside out. They're basing it around her. She's just done an excellent job. She looks like what she is, just a quality center, and she's played tremendously well. 5 from 6, worked her backside off. Coach is going to be loving it.
Some of the moves she's pulled off tonight have been just exceptional. You can see, you know, that they look like easy green dots, but those shots have all been really tough, and it's been her footwork, her physicality that's got her in those positions, and she has finished off super well. 13 points in 14.5 minutes as well. So super efficient in her time on the floor.
Oh, and she's drawn contact, you know, like, you know, in terms of the fouls that she's drawn 9 fouls. I mean, like, she's been hit at both ends of the floor. And she's just done an exceptional job. And I think that this whole Czechia team has come out and said, this is the level we're going to play at. And as people come off the bench, they have been relentless in that effort. And if they can keep that going, there's no ending where this journey might end at EuroBasket Women. No one's talked about them as being a potential winner. It doesn't matter what you do in prep, you've got to do it in the tournament. And they've started as though they mean business in terms of going deep in this competition.
So we can see the shots of Czechia back out onto the floor, a 45 to 23 point lead. We've spoken obviously about Yulia Rysengarova, but I mentioned before it's a tough job to pick who's been one of the best of the game, because you've got Vorachkova, she had the hot start, the 10 points, Emma Chekova getting close to a double-double, 9 points and 6 rebounds. And then you've got Holoshinska. She's probably been your favourite, I have to say, Mark. There's 7 points off the bench. What an impact.
Well, you love people like, you can sit on that bench going, hey, I should have started.
Yeah.
Or you come in and go, right, my job is this. And she's come into the game and had an immediate impact. She's almost like the bellwether for the team is measured by how she comes in and plays with that positive impact and energy, and she's done that in particular. But I'll go back to one of the people you mentioned, Veronika Vorachkova, at the beginning of the game. I spent for most of the pregame saying, oh, they're going to be able to break down this Montenegrin defense. Okay, Montenegro need to do a better job, but she was almost maybe listening and taking it as a personal challenge. Because when she caught it, ripped it through, and attacked the defense on every single catch, first 3 or 4 minutes, that set the tone for this Czech Republic team, who I thought were going to be sitting on the three-point line, penetrating and kicking. They just went to the ring with real intensity, and they set the tone of the whole game in that first 3 or 4 minutes, and then coaches just orchestrated the rotation so well that they lead this 45 to 23. They're in control. It's important for them to win as big as they can, because this Montenegrin team could go winless in this competition. They could end up with all sorts of permutations, get a big win, put yourself in the prime position for qualification, and also start to feel positive about yourself and repay this fans, because these fans retain the energy for all those delays. Great first half by Czechia, great way to start the tournament. And you know it's on Czech TV, it's going to get coverage, and there's going to be even bigger crowds when they play the next 2 games.
You flip over to Montenegro though, and the problems just keep stacking up for them. There's 3 players with 3 fouls, Zivalic, Vucetic, Jovanovic. Field goal percentage right now, 26% for 23 points at halftime. I mean, I don't envy Coach Skerovic's position right now. I wonder what her message would have been at halftime, Mark.
Well, the first thing she's got to say is 3 fouls is just an indication of how they didn't defend the penetration, be it on the pass or the dribble. So they've got to do a better job at guarding the basketball, but now they've got to do that job when they've got foul trouble even harder. Does she talk about the zone? Does she talk about different defensive looks? I wouldn't be surprised if we see something that's different at the defensive end. Down the offensive end, I think she's going to keep saying, keep doing what we're doing, but we've just got to finish plays. And if we finish plays, let's win the 3rd quarter. Let's see if this game can get to 15 points. Let's just win the 3rd quarter, see where we are at the end of the 3rd, and then see if we can really mount a challenge to get back in the game in the 4th. But they simply have to win the 3rd, even if it's just by 2. They've got to win this 3rd quarter.
So there is Coach Skerovic just giving her last messages to her players, 45 to 23. It's a hard margin to come back from, but we have seen it done so many times in EuroBasket over the years. We've seen some absolute classics. We're forgetting this is the 18th ranked nation, Czechia, up against the 19th ranked Montenegro. So we tipped it to be a close one. We're obviously expecting a response from this team, and what an opportunity for these young players to step up and say, hey, I'm going to take this game. I'm going to see if we can get back into it. I'm going to do some things that perhaps we haven't really done too well in the first half.
Well, I think Coach Skerovic would have emphasized some of those points. And you have to say to players at national team level, this is Montenegro. We're not talking about a low-ranked team. They are the 19th ranked team for a reason. So these players don't become bad players overnight. Acknowledge the work that the Czechia team has done on defense, but don't forget, these guys are veteran pros or potential great players, and therefore they're not a 23 points and a half team. You only have to do the maths. Can they get to 65 points? Well, 65 points might give them a chance. That's a long way away at the moment. Win the 3rd quarter, see if you can build some momentum, and see if you can put a little bit more pressure on this Czechia team. And you know what? One of the great things about coaching at this level, because you have so much talent on your rosters, go with what's working. Go with the players that are playing. So you see that coach goes straight in there with Holochinska in the back court at the start of this 3rd quarter. She's trying to hammer home the advantage she's got with her and Hamsova in the back court.
Welcome back to Czechia for the second half of Czechia versus Montenegro. It is Czechia 45 leading Montenegro 23. Julia Montesano and Mark Clark are with you in commentary. Rice-Singarova's had a hot start to the game. Stubalova with a big block. Can she get a triple to start the second half? Of course she can.
Just go and look at any textbook, go and look at any video, draw the defense on the inside, take the extra pass, open look, knock it down. Super basketball by Czechia.
Montenegro looking to get it through hands. A good start in this third term is absolutely crucial for them. Radonic, their leading scorer, doesn't get it to go. And their field goal woes continue. Vorachkova, what a start to the game she had. Behind the back, Rice-Singarova. It's her sweet spot right now. Up against Kovacevic. And she'll head to the free throw line.
I love it. I just love the decision making. I love the way they read the floor. The first possession, she felt the double team, kicked it out. This time there was one-on-one in the post. So she, hey, I'm going up. You can't guard me one-on-one. And the help is late when it comes. And it's a clinic. It's the only way to describe it at the moment. Rice-Singarova is putting on a clinic of how to play the inside at this level.
13 points, 3 rebounds, 15.5 minutes for Rice-Singarova. Free agent at the moment, as we mentioned, so she's on the hunt for another club, and she is putting her case forward for why she should be on a roster.
I can't believe she's gotten the wide. I hope, and I would expect it to be, she has a number of options and she hasn't decided.
Yeah.
Because if she hasn't got options, there's some GMs that should be sending her an offer.
Passage, great shot. Good response.
If you can do it, I can do it as well. Throw it inside, get the reaction from the defense, find the open plan, knock down the shot.
Count that. Vorachkova and Jovanovic continues her struggles with foul trouble.
Vorachkova is, you asked who was going to be the player of the game, and I'd only go her way at the moment purely because she set the tone. She was the person who said, this is the way we're going to play the game, and she's just continued that. There's so many choices, though, for Czechia. Just been a great 1-12 performance.
Donic highlighted her at the half. She's been trying her heart out, just hasn't been able to finish off her shots. Passage just hit a 3, and then the offensive foul. The third foul. So another player that goes 3 fouls, that has 3 fouls next to her name now. 4 players now in 3 fouls.
And it's frustrating, isn't it? Because Passage, as you said, made the 3, but she didn't move. If she'd have moved, she'd have had an open look, and then when she caught the ball, then she's trying to play, and she's going to get the offensive foul because the defense is already adjusted.
Comes over, has a look, and knocks it down!
Wow.
It's scary now when the 3 ball is starting to go for Czechia. Just to add to their dominance. 54 plays 26, smothering defense as well. Vucetic can't nail the long-range triple. Does Hamzova go back-to-back? Rice-Singarova to Vorachkova. So calm with the ball in hand. Has a look. Holoshinska, great effort. It's poked in the eye on the way down.
See, we're going to be a bit nitpicky here. They had an open look in transition off the pass, which is always a higher percentage shot than the one off the dribble. And I thought, okay, she hasn't taken that. She's going to move the ball. No, she decided that I'll take the 3 anyway. But they look very confident, and they look very happy with each other on the floor at the moment, this Czechia lineup.
So foul on Holoshinska.
And you know, like we are, it's contagious, right? It's always contagious. If things are happening, if the defense, if one person's playing defense, if one person's, everyone wants to do it. And Holoshinska's all over it, and she really is setting a tone here. Everybody in a white uniform is aggressive defensively and chasing everything.
Jovanovic pulls the trigger. Comes over with the rebound. Rysingerova. Vorachkova. Stubalova wide open. Nails it! 3 triples in the third term for Czechia.
This is when coaching is such an easy job.
For some.
For some. If you're coaching this Czechia team at the moment, they're passing to each other, getting open and making shots. It's such a simple game, but it starts and finishes at this end. That's the first bit of lazy defense I think I've seen the whole game. Rysingerova believes that it was on the floor, and I have a little bit of sympathy with the... She definitely fouled as though she thought it was going to be on the floor.
Take a look at Stupalova's triple. The third one of the third term. Comes over, hit one earlier. And that's actually Stupalova's second in her own right too. She had that big block in the first period.
I mean, this team has a fair amount of continuity. I mean, 8 of the players on this team played more than 4+ games in the qualifiers. They've had this group together in these prep games, so yeah, it's they look like a team that feels comfortable with what they're trying to do.
Emma Chekova back onto the floor. We've loved her work so far in this game. Fyodorova back out there as well. Brodonic not agreeing with the call there. Let's check it out on the replay. Well, she might have a case to answer.
Yeah, but I think he'd already blown the whistle, because I think that she stepped on the sideline before she threw it back in, but they've stolen it anyway, so they're still all right. They're okay. They're back where they wanted to be.
Valic. Kovacevic open, suddenly confronted. Brodonic. Tough work getting through those Twin Towers.
It's the way that Coach Pakova has constructed this defense. It's, again, when you've got that much size and athleticism around to protect the ring, like, look at the penetration comes and look, everybody's on the rotation. Everyone's going to make it hard. So that means you're more inclined to get after it on the perimeter. It's a great example of how to prepare and then put a plan on the floor and execute it.
Fyodorova. Offensive foul. A tough first initiation for Kopecka. Her first minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty hefty hit.
Officiating wise, I love the way they call the pick and roll now. It's like if it's moving, if it's holding, they've cleaned up that area of the game so much. The screen is so effective anyway when executed. They're giving the defense a real chance now.
Kovacevic getting to work on Chekova. Great move. She started off this game really well. I wonder if she's the one to provide them with a bit of a spark. It's her 8th point for the game now. Leading scorer for Montenegro. Kopecka to Fyodorova. Cut off. Good hands by Jovanovic.
Well, that's the way to go look at it. Get a stop, get a score, get a stop. That's going to give them a chance to actually eat into that margin right now. And that puts Czechia into the bonus. So now they've got this life, still 4:40 to go. Get themselves a little bit of momentum going into the fourth. Someone's got to get going from the three-point line for them. They've just got to stay with this. It's a very hard ask when the game has been so dominant. Shots like that just have to drop for them.
Pospíšilová now. Zajtamanova. Chekova. Fyodorova. Textbook basketball.
Love the ball movement. Love the unselfish way they share it. Great execution.
Brodonic. Valic. Kovacevic now loses it. And they're off and running once again. Zajtamanova up ahead. Converts.
Well, they're taking the time out, Montenegro. But if you're watching this and you want to play fast break basketball, as soon as there was that steal, Zamarova has just taken off. Her first step, she's taken 3 steps before the defense even thought about transition. That's why she's so far ahead of the play. She's seen, she's reacted, she gets the 2. Montenegro take and need a timeout.
Faces of Game 1 in Group C of the FIBA Women's EuroBasket here in Brno. With only 6 games in the group, each win is super important. The crowd getting right behind their team. A mammoth lead at the moment, 62-28. Marna Patajkova quite happy with what she's seeing out on the bench. We've got 4 minutes left in this third period. What can Montenegro do to respond? They need baskets and they need them quickly. Radonic. Valic. That's better. Silences the crowd for the moment. A nice response out of the timeout.
Yeah, their movement away from the basket was good. They dragged the defense out of the middle and got them off the help side. And then you attack the space behind the defense. You know, they've just been unable to do that often enough, and they finished the play that time. But 30 points in 27 minutes of basketball is a tough ask to get yourself competitive in a game at this level. And if it is a transition time, when you lose, you got to learn, and they've got to learn from this one. They've got 2 more games in this competition to go.
Pospíšilová. Kopecka can't get involved just yet. Radonic off and running. Wheeling and dealing. Still can't get the finish she probably deserves.
Yeah, it's a tough shot, wasn't it, in transition. Got to get better shots than that. Oh, beautiful play.
Speaking of better shots, that is excellent.
3 passes and a layup that's unopposed. Super, again, ball movement, exceptional.
And again, the bench players getting rewarded. Kopecka with their first points of the game. Valic, double teams. Ilic on the floor for her first minutes. Radonic, too long.
They got out of the double team, made the pass, and Radonic catches it. Jovanovic is wide open in the corner, and she decides to take a tough shot. If that's Czechia the other way, that's a pass and another pass on an open shot. And it's an exceptional performance by Czechia at the moment. And it's their defense that's just worn down.
Look at the pace they're continuing to run with as well. Lekovic just trying to bust her way through. Wasn't going to work out. Zaitamadova. Pospíšilová. Oh, good rejection there by Jovanovic.
Yeah, she's not gonna do anything but still work at this, is she? She's been around for so long, so much pride in what she does. She's not gonna sit down and let this happen.
The last EuroBasket tournament for Montenegro. Again, pushing the pace, and Zaitamadova gets up ahead once again. 15 fast break points to 2. Ivanovic now. Kicks it out to Zavalic. One way, then the other. Bulage, this would be a good introduction for her. Instead it falls inside Tamarova. You can see the three-point percentage for Montenegro, 2 from 20. Really struggling from that range. And field goal overall, it must be said too. It's not quite working out for them at the moment. But that's a positive sign. Your captain doing stuff like that. Dying stages of the third term. You said it, Mark. She's not going to die wondering. She's going to make sure that she guides his team to the end.
And one of the things that's going to frustrate her is that she does that, and then the next play going the other way, her teammate gets outworked, and Czechia have an unopposed layup. She's going to she'll make people aware of how that's not acceptable after this game.
Again, she's made a statement there on the Hanashova drive. See, she's feeling the effects of it.
Hey, I'm so pleased to see her back on the floor, though, Hanusova. Obviously, you can see the strapping and the brace around the knee. You know, for her to come back and to be a major part of this team, it's just great for her. She's 34 years old, and she has been part of this Czech program for so long. Chance to play at home at that stage of her career, what a great opportunity for her, and she deserves nothing less.
Yeah, Coach Patashkova really praised her upon selection. Wanted her to be a part of this team, for what she's done for this nation. And it's a good drive there from Bulage. Pospíšalová, ooh! Lekovic hits the deck.
I tell you, like the first Montenegrin to chase that loose ball was Milica Jovanovic. The first person to get after it, the first person to come out of rotation. She was the person that helped, she's the person chasing it. You know, Coach Skerovich will be using that when she reviews this game. What an example.
Zavalic, nice looking shot, just couldn't convert once again. 10 seconds left, what can Czechia do to end the third period on a high note? It's been all them this game. Viotalova with the quick triple, just falls short. But they've continued their dominance here in Brno in front of their adoring home fans. At the end of the third quarter, it is Czechia 66, leading Montenegro 33. See the game stats up on your screen now. 61-37, 2-point range. 38-10, 3-point range. Free throws okay, but Montenegro really struggling from the field, Mark.
Well, and I think it's really down to the way Czechia share the basketball. They're taking open shots. They're getting shots in transition. And it's all that everyone watching at home on these replays, you're going to see the end product. But it starts with their defensive effort that generates pressure, that turns their defense into points. The way they share the ball is exceptional, and they've done it relentlessly. Montenegro show you flashes. You get the inside-outside option to the open look. You get some penetration, but it's just too infrequent. Whereas every time down the floor, this Czechia team move off the ball for each other. There's always a pass option, and now they're starting to stroke the three. And they look a handful. They weren't one of the teams that people said, well, you know, Belgium's coming out of this group. Well, Belgium are going to have to play. It's a different game playing against Belgium than playing against Montenegro. That's no disrespect to anybody, but this Czechia team are going to be a handful if they can produce this level of pressure from their defense. It's been really a joy to watch. And Coach has been able to rotate everybody. No one's going to come out of this game tired. Everyone's going to come out of this game thinking, I've made a contribution. All the work we've been doing has been worth it. We're ready for game day 2. It's a great start. It's a super start. Now they're going to want to finish the job positively, and they won't want to drop. But on the Montenegro side, I know I said it at the end of the quarter, but Milica Jovanovic, what an example to the rest of her team. They're in a desperately bad situation. She's still doing it. She's chasing plays down, and it's a joy to watch her play still. It's a privilege to watch her play.
Fourth quarter tipping off here in Czechia. leading 66-33. Of course, up next, Belgium up against Portugal, the champions versus the debutants. Of course, that game starting at 9 p.m. local time due to the delay we had a bit earlier on with some technical issues. Of course, we love that you're sticking around with us because it's been an excellent performance from Czechia. And we'll see how far they can continue this into the fourth term. Or could Montenegro respond and follow the example set by Milica Ivanovic?
That's offensive though.
Yep.
Just needed again that little second to execute correctly, not rush it. Give her a chance to establish the screen. She's gonna have to sit.
Fourth foul. But we mentioned it, she's gonna put everything on the line. If that means foul, she's gonna try. Yep. She's just gonna have to try something. Comes over with the drive. Bulage commits the foul this time. A pretty hard foul too. Free throws to come.
Great recognition by the offense because the defense got really off balance. I mean, that's late. The damage was done on the ball. And as soon as the defense got off balance, just attacked it so hard. And been very impressed with Eliska Hamzova. She looks really a really nice option in that guard role.
It's her 5th point for the game. She's got 4 rebounds to go with it as well. Of course, she plays here in Brno. Had a bit of an elbow injury toward the end of the league season, but she's here and she's doing super well. Kovacevic to Vucetic. Lekovic pulls up, doesn't knock it down.
Every shot is a tough one, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to put it on the floor, you're going to challenge it, but I'm going to put it up. Not really getting anything like that, which they should have finished. But every shot, because of this Czechia defense, has been a hard one.
Heaps better there from Montenegro, and it gets Nikolina Ilic involved. That's what we want to see more of. Stupalova now to Holoshinska. Real energy off the bench from Petra Holoshinska. Stupalova's had some nice moments too, but this time it gets swatted away from her. She still stays in the action. Hamzova couldn't finish the easy basket. That's the first easy basket they missed all game.
Oh, exactly. But like, look what it came off. It's 8:05 to go in the fourth. They're up 33 points and they're still getting after it. You know, this is the way they're going to play. This is the way they're going to play in this whole EuroBasket women. Love it. Love the way they've applied what coach wants from them.
Vucetic for 3. Good rebound, Kovacevic. Bulage. Nice feed. Couldn't get the finish. Sound like a broken record. Holoshinska though heads to the free throw line. 3 shots coming.
There are certain players, like, and every team has them. Whenever that player is in the game and wherever they're on the floor, good things happen around them because they're always looking to make a good decision. They're always looking to be the aggressor. You know, the defense is off balance, so she was going to go up. She knew she was going to get fouled, and it's everything. Apart from the fact that she struggled for her from the free throw line, and she's had just an exceptional game. Good things happen when she touches the basketball. Every team wants one. Every coach loves them. They also frustrate them at times because at times they'll do things in a certain way that is like, was that the right idea? But you definitely take all the positives and they far outweigh the negatives. She's just a game changer for this team.
Free agent at the moment, as we mentioned. Maybe a similar situation to Rice-Sengerova. Maybe waiting, got a few options and waiting to pick the right one. We watch with intrigue.
All right, Czechia's showing the zone. This is about tournament play. It's like having a look at different options for later in the competition.
Lekovic. Hamzova.
She's a big guard, Hamzova. Like, you know, 182, really does have some length.
She was the starting point guard for this game too, so 182 centimeters running down the floor at you, it's not easy. Lekovic now can get to work.
I was going to say, that's an unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Don't know why that Skupalova even thought it was necessary to do. Maybe she knew she was coming out. It's like, I've got to get out. It's someone else in. 70-35. It's not a great day at the office for Montenegro. But I've got to say, Julia, I really do like that Maria Lekovic. I think this experience for her, she's going to use it, and you know that Coach Skerovic will help her use it in a positive way. She's gone to a big club. She's going to be playing EuroLeague women's basketball. So, like, the future is bright for her. She's not going to want to go through a 70-36 result again for Montenegro. So I think in every situation, especially with national teams, because you get together so infrequently, you've got to build and take positives, and she is a positive still for this Montenegrin team.
21-year-old has 6 points for the game. Here she is once again. Gets swatted away from Bigovic. Excellent pass though. Comes over with the pace. Got fouled on the way through.
Zobra's impressive. She's played a whole career here. She's the hometown girl. And literally, when she was a kid, this is where she's always played her basketball. Now she's playing national team basketball in her hometown. Every player's dream.
So special. For a lot of these players play here in Brno at the moment. Andilova. Radonic. She is 4 and 4 and 4. It has not gone her way tonight. She hasn't given up to her credit. Kovacevic, long three. Radonic fouled on the rebound. Every possession has been a fight, it's been a scrap, it's been super difficult for him. Comes over, comes off for a well-deserved break, it must be said. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Zaytamadova back onto the floor. 4 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists for her. Radonic, one way then the other. Finds a way through, just fell short. Andilova looking to push the pace. Korachkova back onto the floor. Andilova for 3. Beautiful!
Well, you said right at the beginning of the game, being at home can be a lot of pressure, but could also inspire you. This crowd is a real positive buzz about it at the moment, especially when you've got Zamalova putting down the 3. Sloppy turnover, that hasn't happened very often.
Yeah. But look at that, they're straight back on defense. It wasn't an easy layup or anything like that. They're still working it out, Montenegro. Vucetic, a beautiful connection there.
I think we really got to emphasize here that Montenegro are not a bad basketball team. Czechia have just been exceptional at both ends of the floor. And yeah, okay, we can talk about the lack of prep, and 2 games might be undercooking, etc. But they're still a decent basketball team, and Czechia has just been exceptional in this afternoon's game.
Korachkova, Zaytamadova. They load up again. Oh, beautiful move, Korachkova, and Chokova there to finish.
Well, you've got to say that one phase of play just sums up the game. They break the defense down, share the ball. Their desire to share the basketball is just a joy to watch. The move, and then if you know that people are going to pass, you will move. So you will do this and get to a spot because your teammate is going to find you. Absolute joy to watch this team play and share the basketball.
The crowd show their appreciation 2,267 in the house. Coach Skirvich in the huddle there. His team down 40-75.
I mean, that's the 22nd assist. There's still 4.5 minutes to go. As a fan, as a coach, and as a teammate, you love that number. You know, 9 assists going the other way. They just have been unable to share the ball effectively because of the defense. But 22 assists, and they enjoy the assist. They enjoy the sharing of the basketball. Great place for this team to be. You know, when you get a positive start to a EuroBasket women, that momentum is a big deal in tournament play.
Sophia Zavalic on the screen, 7 points, 3 from 8 from the field. It's been similar stats for a few of Montenegro's players. Really poor field goal percentages. Overall, they're shooting just 24% from the floor, 15 from 62 shots taken. Czechia, meanwhile, 26 from 52, going at 50% scoring. Taken less shots, converted more. Balšić on the floor. Begovic offensive foul.
Yep.
Yep.
But you got the camera angle is great for that. In terms of the way that the defense rotated, the way that they took away any direct penetration, and then you move your feet, you take the contact, you're still, with 4 minutes to go, you're up 35, you're still playing defense. Because on this team, if you don't, coach will take you out.
Absolutely. She hasn't been shy to rotate her bench. Really even minutes for all the players on the floor. We've seen Rice-Singarova have a pretty decent spell. And she was so hot to start the game. Vorotchkova spent an extended time on the bench as well. Time for Chekova to shine. Kopetska, beautiful feed, beautiful finish.
Well, it's the same point. You know that if your teammate's going to pass it, you move. And that was just super. She had 3 options on that penetration. They're a joy. It's fun to watch. It's worth the price of the admission to watch this team play.
Montenegro emptying out the bench. Malic has her first minutes. Radonic stepping back. Still can't hit one.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the defense had taken all her time away, and then she had to put it up. And when you're struggling like that, you don't make those shots, do you? They're the shots you make when you're feeling good, and everything is dropping.
Speaking of feeling good, that is an excellent pass.
Super pass.
Kopetska happy to take that and finish it off.
And just isolated to help, because if they'd have guarded that, they had the other pass to the under the ring. It was just super.
Kopetska lines up. Can't knock it down. Balšić now. Malic. Scoops it back up to Begovic. Shot clock ticks down to 5. Bulajic has got to go. Did pretty well, but again, look at the pace. Sai Tamadova already up the opposite end of the floor. Get it through sets of hands. Kopetska tried to find one more. It was well cut off. Bulajic the show and the go. Good to see her showcasing her skills, the 18-year-old.
Yep. I know they're not going to enjoy the scoreline, but there is a lot of positives out here for Montenegro. That's offensive, same call. You've got to allow the defense to play their defense in that pick and roll situation, and if you just roll and hold, it's going to get called all the time. There you go, just walked into the defense. That's why she's so open.
Beautiful move from Bulajic.
You know, but we said before the game, didn't we? The 18-year-old guard, the 20-year-old guard, the 21-year-old guard. You know, it's there for Montenegro. They know the options they have going forward. But this is going to be a real learning experience that's Limanova gets another 2. And she's also another positive, right? Look at the pace that she gives this team coming off the bench.
A young guy in her own right too, 23 years old. She plays here in Brno, like we mentioned. She's super quick.
Yep.
And super active hands as well. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for Katarina Zajtamarova. And here she is once again. Pospisilova now can get involved and get her first points for the game.
Oh, Coach Skerovich is going to take the timeout. This is going to be a hard one for Coach Skerovich to take. A 40-point loss. She'll reflect on this later about, you know, the youngsters did well. They've learned a lot in the game. At the moment, she's looking at 81-42. Someone who's carried Montenegrin basketball as a player. Now she's trying to take the program forward as a coach. And when you commit that much to your country, 81-42 is going to hurt. And you know that's what she's going to be saying after the game.
And guess who they're playing next? Belgium tomorrow.
Just that Belgian team, they're not bad, are they?
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they've got some players that have played on a few teams.
MVP, All-Star 5, you know, pretty good. We're excited to see them in action next. Belgium up against Portugal, the 2023 champions, the 2025 debutants. That game will start at 9 o'clock local time. So just a minute 45 left in this one. And then we'll bring you the action from Belgium up against Portugal. I wonder if Belgium can go back-to-back in EuroBasket, but right now the focus has to be on Czechia. They have been exceptional from start to finish. Veronika Mračková, as you mentioned, Mark, she was the one that got it all started.
Yep.
And that's why she deserves a big highlight now. 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Really even performance from her.
Well, yeah, fortunately, no one asks us to pick a player in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's a number of options.
So
but
tricky.
She set the tone. You can talk about Oleshinska coming off the bench and lifting the team. You can talk about Rising Garova on the inside. And also don't forget Hamzova at the point. I mean, where do you stop? But the person who set the tone is Vorachkova.
Zajtamarova, Stubalova has hit a couple triples in this game. That's a third!
Well, she played every game in the qualifiers and had no numbers like this. This team as a group looks like they're really on the same page.
Beautiful move. Maria Balsic. She's had a few struggles in this game, but she has continued to work hard, and that is a great move to open it up. Hanushova, the only one who hasn't scored for Czechia now, gets on the score sheet. Every single player getting involved, and what a great opportunity. The 34-year-old getting back in her home country to represent her team in a EuroBasket.
The whole bench got up for that one. They respect what she's done and what she's still doing.
Dilova happily sends that one away. The crowd really getting around the team now. This arena is loud. 86-44, 41 seconds left. It's a resounding win for Czechia.
This crowd are going to be back tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And some.
It goes off hands. Dominant performance from the home team. Of course, they come up against Portugal tomorrow and then finish off the group against Belgium on Sunday. Balsic commits the foul. Zajtamarova at the line. Plays her basketball for Sabini Brno. 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
All these players, family and friends, are all in the crowd. This is a big deal to play at home. And they've really paid dividends, and they've really looked the part on opening day. It's a great start for Czechia.
Malic, Bigovic can't quite get it to go. Dilova finish it off on a high note. Stubalova! It has been raining baskets here in Czechia. The crowd have shown their appreciation. And it is full time here in Brno, and it is the home team who have got their tournament off to a perfect start. It was a Czech clinic from start to finish. The final score here, Czechia winning 89, Montenegro 44. Tell you what, their experience, their class, their physicality, everything was 100% marked. It got them over the line, and they won this tournament 20 years ago. I wonder if they dare to dream this time round. That was excellent.
Well, they were definitely excellent. I mean, that's without a shadow of a doubt. They were excellent from 1 to 12. Whoever came in did what their job was. They performed well. Their defensive effort was exceptional. And okay, Montenegro is not as good as Montenegro want to be and expect to be. But most of that was down to the quality of the Czechia performance. So it's not, no one should be saying, oh, Montenegro are not great. That was a very, very good performance by Czechia. How good? Well, the next two games will probably tell us how good. They're going to have different challenges in both those games, but what they've got is a group of players that are very much playing for each other. They shared the ball today exceptionally well. 28 assists. That's an exceptional number. Everyone's comfortable with their role, but that's when they're winning by almost by 45 points. They're going to be like that when they're challenged by Belgium. Are they going to have a bouncy Portuguese team to beat? It's going to be a tough ask, but they couldn't have done any better. They couldn't have started any better, and that's one happy coach and one happy team that couldn't have started this tournament any better.
Tell you what, we had 2,267 in the house. If you're in Brno, this stadium holds, I think, about 3,000. Get here tomorrow, get here on Sunday, support the team, because they are going to pay you back in dividends if anything is to go by tonight. It's a tough night for Montenegro, as you can see on the stats there. Shooting 35% from two-point range and 10% from three-point range is never going to get you anywhere.
But when you're shooting 40% from three, and we'll see it on the highlights, open shots. They created open shots. The rebound number is always a misleading number when a team shoots so poorly against you. But the 89 points, the highest point scorer is full team. They shared points here. They really did get contributions across the bench. Everybody stepped in, everybody scored. Gonna get these best plays of the fourth quarter. And yeah, there's penetrations. There's the foul on that play because again, they attacked it, and Hamzova just was exceptional at breaking the defense down. There's a few plays that will be some real positives for Coach Skerovic, but the thing that really you just gotta love about the performance for Czechia is just their ability to share the ball and take open shots. They just worked hard. We're getting a lot of looks here at Montenegro. That's probably no disrespect to them, but all of their best plays. And there you see it, move the ball, open shot. Happened game, play after play after play across the game. And then you're shooting shots that are drill shots. You get your feet set and you're open and you've got to make it, and you're going to shoot a good percentage. And they did that the whole game. Impressive. Impressive the way they shared the ball. Impressive the way that as a team they ran the floor. And defensively they were exceptional. You'd love to play on this team. Everybody helps you on defense. Everybody shares the ball on offense. Once your teams are doing those two things, it's a great place to play. Great example of it there. The movement away from the ball was exceptional. What's going to be their challenge, though, is if you've got a Belgian or a quick, athletic Portuguese team guarding them on the perimeter, and they have to play in front of the defense, what do they have then? If they're asked that question, what do they have then? But that was exceptional.
So here's how the standings look. Obviously, Czechia on top at the moment, 89-44. And coming up next, 9 p.m. local time, Belgium, the reigning champs, up against Portugal. The debutants for the 2025 EuroBasket women. Do not miss that one. Thank you for your company here tonight. The final score, 89-44. Big win for Czechia. We'll see you shortly for Belgium versus Portugal.